exciting times going to Sainsbury's. Hello everybody, how are you all today on this bright Friday? I'm just going to start by saying, well, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do first. First of all, I'm going to ask you to do me a little favour and leave a particular comment down below in the comment section. Then I'm going to tell you about an amazing thing that just happened to me while I was chanting. Hi everybody, hi Majella or Mayella, hi Tanya, hi Urfa. I keep asking you to tell me how to pronounce your name. Can you write it phonetically, please? Sam, hello. Saw you in your dressing gown yesterday. It was really fun. So I'm gonna talk about the fact that hopefully everyone's feeling a bit better now, and then I'm going to do a card. So what I want to start off by asking, and I'm asking this as a favor, and I'm really asking you to do it if you can be bothered or if you have any inspiration whatsoever. So this is it. Today at I think 4 o'clock, or it might be 3, I have a meeting with Michelle Pilley, who is I like to call her Le Grand Fromage, the big cheese. She's the head of Hay House UK. And we're going to be talking about my future projects. And I have a list of 5 things that I want to create. I think 1 or 2 are oracle card decks and 3 or 4 are books. And I would really like to be able to get a straw poll from you now, letting me know what you would like me to produce next. What would you like me to do? You know, I don't want to even give you any suggestions, but you know, I mean, there's astrology, there's moonology, there's the planet of love and abundance, Venus, there's angels, archangels, there's female archangels, which I'm just learning about, there's mantras, there's, what else is there? I mean, there's so much. There's oracle cards, there's ancient astrology, there's goddesses. What would you like me to do? And would you be interested in a book on my travels in India when my whole life changed? That's another one. Let me know in the comments, please. And what I will do is I will go through the comments on my desktop computer downstairs, and I will cut and paste them all into a document, which I will either I'll just try and analyze on the spot, but I might do what I've done in the past as well, which is to send it to Michelle. So every year when the diary comes out and we ask for feedback and we get feedback, I literally get everyone's comments and send them to Hay House. So this is not just some kind of, you know, thing for me. It actually can make a difference. And if there's a book you'd really like to see me write, you know, about working with the moon or working with astrology or predictions or whatever it is you want, put it in the comments, and I will, you know, if there's a chorus of all people wanting such and such, definitely I will be able to put that to Michelle. So thank you for that. I can see people, chanting and goddesses. Yeah, chanting as well. Mantras, yeah. Okay, I'm very excited about that. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention was that today actually is a really healing day. So, yeah, Mercury, the planet of communications, is actually making a harmonious aspect to the planetoid Chiron, okay? Chiron is a planetoid, and it's all about healing. And it's about healing things from our past that really affected us deeply, you know? And Mercury is a planet of the mind. So when Mercury harmonizes with Chiron, as it is doing right now, in some ways it's going to kind of ameliorate or make better the upsets that we may or may not have had, you know, when we had the full moon and then we had Mercury clashing with Mars, you know, we had all that kind of at the start, you know, a few days ago. I was going to say at the start of the week, but honestly, I have no clue where we are in the week. No, I know we're Friday. It's okay. So this, you know, last week, weekend, start of the week, we had quite a lot of upset, and you know, I was feeling it, and I know lots of you were feeling it because I talked about it and a lot of you said, yeah, me too, I feel the same way. But now we've got Mercury harmonizing with Chiron. It's like soothing our troubled mind, you know. It's about thoughts that finally start to heal, or upsets that start to get better. And, you know, from a perspective of my meeting today with Michelle from Hay House, you know, it's a really good time for me to talk about anything that's going to be healing, any books that will be healing for people. So I just wanted to mention that. So hopefully you're starting to feel much more like you're on a healing journey now. Now, next, along those lines, I wanted to tell you about something that just happened to me in the chanting that I did at 10:30 a.m. London time. That was about 45 minutes ago. If you on Facebook, I put a link every day at about 10:15 to remind you if you want to join me. You're very welcome. We do it on Zoom. I had an amazing experience while I was meditating, and I wanted to share it. Not least because it was amazing, and also because it was so Mercury harmonizing with Chiron, which is the aspect I've just been talking about. So I was just doing my chanting. I'm sure many of you have joined, or many of you have seen me doing it here, which is this chant to the goddess Kali. So I'm chanting away, doing my chant, and suddenly I had this really strong, out of nowhere experience of understanding and making peace with something that happened to me when I was in grades 5, 6 and 7, say. So probably about 11, 12 and 13. And what happened was at that point I changed schools. And and I kind of walked into a bit of a den of something or other. And it's a long story, but there was one girl who was quite, let's say, I'm trying to say it in a nice way. She kind of like really was obviously a soulmate that I had to meet, who kind of prodded and poked me to make me eventually become a stronger, better person, very resilient. And but I was always very, very upset by what had happened. And, you know, I was upset even as recently as about 7 years ago when we were having a school reunion, and, you know, or maybe it was about 10 years ago. And I went to the reunion. I was like, yeah, she was so mean to me when we were little, and rah, rah, rah. And she was actually really upset about something on the night, crying about something that had happened to her at school. And I was like, oh, well, it's all right for you to cry now. What about the way you made me feel at school? So I wasn't very compassionate. I've never been very proud of that. Yeah. Anyway, I hadn't healed it, and it was obvious from a few things that happened that I hadn't healed it. Anyway, so as I was just chanting now, and there is an astrology to this, okay, because I will just tell you the story, then I'm going to put it in an astrological context. As I was just chanting now, she literally, out of nowhere, I've not thought about her for at least, 6 to 12 months. Like every now and then her name will crop up on an email or something, but she's actually not on Facebook. And she was in the room with me almost. I mean, any of my school friends who happen to see this, and some of them might, are going to laugh, and they're all going to know exactly who I'm talking about. But it was like she was in front of me, and it was like, now it's time to heal that wound and forgive and forget and move on. And I was like, oh, yes, I can do that. And I actually felt straight away like, I can do that. And so I kind of like put my hand against her, you know, heart chakra, where it would have been had she actually been in the room with me in person. And I kind of said, I'm sorry. And I felt like she was saying, I'm sorry. And I felt like at the end of the chanting, I actually felt like, you know, if she lived in London now, we could go out and have dinner and I wouldn't be filled with all that upset from the past. So that was really cool. Now, of course, I have no proof to know of any of that because she lives in Australia, and I don't know, you know, if that would ever be possible. But that's how I felt. It felt healed. And what's really important is that it feels healed. I felt like we could actually be friends, rather than me carrying around this baggage from, 500 years ago. You were mean to me in grade 5. So that was pretty amazing. So what's the astrological context? Well, it's twofold. Number one, as I mentioned, today we have Mercury, the planet of the mind, harmonizing with the healing planetoid Chiron. So it's a really good day for healing troubled thoughts, okay? So if you have someone in your past that you have to forgive, today is a really, really good day to do it. And it might be from grade 5, or it might be from, you know, a job you had, you know, especially when you start out, sometimes people can be a bit, you know, brutal, whatever. Could be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, doesn't matter. See if it doesn't come to you naturally, see if there's something that you can work on and just do a kind of a forgiveness ceremony. If you've got my book Moonology, there's the formula for forgiveness in there. But also it's because, what else? Who knows? Can anyone else guess what the other thing is? The other thing. I want to see if anybody gets it. I'm looking at the comments. They take a moment to show. Anybody guess what the other astrological thing is, which is about going back to the past and forgiving and making up? Yes. From the Soul 333 on Instagram says Venus. Exactly. Venus retrograde. So Venus is the planet of love and relating. Yes, and people are getting on Facebook too. Lisa, Venus is retrograde. Valtana, Venus. Yes, exactly. Venus. So the thing is, Venus is the planet of love. And as I said just now, relating. Okay, it's also the planet of women, just by the way. So now is a really, really good time to be healing things. And, you know, if I think about it like, oh my God, how is it it's taken me this long to finally forgive her, you know, for whatever I think she did, even though I know on some level she was sent to me to teach me the lessons I needed to learn, you know, and to help. I think one of the biggest things that she did for me is she made me realize that I didn't need to seek outside approval, that I was okay, that I knew in my heart, on the inside, I knew I was an okay person, even though she was kind of picking on me. But she showed me that, she made me realize that I'm okay. I knew I was okay, even when she was mean to me. I knew I was okay, and that's so important. That's what we want to give our kids, you know, because there's always going to be someone, you know, picking on you. And it's important to be able to go through that and go, you know what, I'm okay. And these are soul contracts, in my opinion. You know, before we incarnated here on Earth, she and I would have made an agreement. Okay, in grade 5, I'm going to be really mean to you and I'm going to try and turn everyone against you. And that's going to be how you realize that you're okay and that you don't need to worry about, you know, people who are mean. It also made me much more resilient, because I think otherwise I would have been this little princess petal, you know, but it made me much tougher. And that's good too, because, you know, over life you have to get through stuff. So it was a soul contract, and Venus retrograde is the time to heal it. And now I can see all that, and now I can think, you know what, thank you for that. You did me a favor, and I know it was a soul contract. And now I don't even feel any charge on it when I'm talking about it right now. And that's probably the first time in my entire life. And we're talking about when I was 11, okay? So it wasn't yesterday. So have a think for yourself. If there's anything in your past you need to forgive and heal. And what you do, it's really important to know this. What you do when you heal like this, you actually heal in all directions of time. You heal your ancestral line, you heal the line for your descendants. You are, I'm getting goosebumps as I say this, you are healing your ancestral line and all your descendants. So it's such a powerful thing to do if you can do it. All right? Okay, and of course, by the way, if you're wanting to work with Venus retrograde and you haven't yet signed up for my free course, free, it'll give you a really good context for this and you'll start to understand it. I'll give you the URL and I'll put it up above after I've chatted here, because I forgot to do it. I forgot about it. But it's moonmessages.com/VenusRx. One word, VenusRx. RX is shorthand for retrograde. moonmessages.com/VenusRx if you want to heal the past. And a lot of people have been writing to me and saying, I'm single and I don't have anyone to heal. You know, can I just work on myself and self-love? 100%. And also it's a really good time, Venus retrograde, and the course will take you through this, the main course, not the free part, but the main course will teach you also. It's about learning to figure out what you really value, and that's obviously such an important thing to do now in lockdown, because many of us are going to come out of this changed, you know, changed forever. So how have your values shifted in the 2 months we've all been, you know, in lockdown? All right, so there you go. So I actually can't wait to get off and read all your comments, especially about what you think I should write. For those of you who tuned in late, I'm asking people to give me ideas about what to write next. I've got a meeting with Michelle from Hay House today, and I've got a few ideas, but if a lot of people say the same thing, then I'm going to know that I should add that to the list. So I'm actually going to do a goddess card today. Here they are. One of the things I'm going to say to Michelle is, can I please do some moon goddess cards? All right, here we go. Well, this one seems to be jumping out already, actually. Let's have a look. Oh, no, that one's jumped out. Oh, no, they're all jumping out. Okay, let's just take this one, which flipped over. Oh, well, that's a really nice card. I love this card. So, how apt for lockdown. It's actually Vesta, who's the goddess of the home. Sorry, I didn't give you a chance to ask a question, but just take this as a kind of a reading that you need to hear. Like if you're watching this, this is the reading you need to hear. It just jumped out, as you saw. Okay, here we go. You ready? I'm going to read from the book. So there's an undying flame within your soul, and it's the light, seed and spark of your consciousness. And let me just tell you what it says on the card, actually. Your household situation is improving, either through a move or a healthy change in the occupants. Now, funnily enough, I actually got this card just before we bought this house. So I was very happy about that. So, your outer world reflects your inner world. Take a look around your home. Does it reflect warmth? If not, this is easily remedied and oh so important to do. It's a simple task of using your creative imagination to add warm energy to your household, such as lighting the fireplace or some candles, adding cozy blankets and pillows, and displaying greeting cards and fresh flowers. By warming up your outer world, your inner flame responds to meet it. Now, I think that this is also about lockdown today, you know? I think it's to say that as much as I think many of us are feeling, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? Like it's been really fun, but you know, I actually want the children to get out and play now. This is craziness. But I mean, I'm not saying we should all bust out. When I say it's crazy, I mean it's a crazy situation we're in, but I'm not saying we should all bust out. I totally respect the lockdown. I am not going anywhere. I'm not busting out. I'm not doing anything, you know, radical or revolutionary and getting out or anything like that. But it is like, wow, 2 months at home now. And, you know, I mean, I'm in England at the moment. So, you know, I want my summer holidays. I'm not going to lie. I really want to go on my summer holidays. I love my summer holidays. So hopefully this is a sign. Well, for one thing, that home is a good place to be right now. And if it hasn't been, it can be. And also maybe it's a suggestion that there's a healthy change coming, you know. What do you reckon? I hope so. All right, so on that note, I am going to leave it there. Have a beautiful day, and I am now going to go and read all your comments, and I'll see you back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Mwah.